zone defense, especially when you don't have that much wind. It is pretty easier to go with any throws you want, like this high released disc to get in the end zone. But also the scuba we've seen was pretty smooth, like no worries, no thinking about it. It just goes because, yeah, as we were saying, the wind is not that strong and doesn't bother. So interesting choice to go with a zone. Let's see what would be next. Why not? I mean, it's just that without wind, you have to adapt a little bit. You know that these high upsides will go and flow.
It is a peculiar choice. We know that the Italians do their homework, possibly more than any other team here, including video breakdowns. And yet, if you're doing your homework, you recognize there's not that much wind. Why are you going to give players like Shane Corcoran, who has a European Champions medal at the club scene, and Anya Gilhini, who has one at the international scene, that much time? As we see Joshua Poltok, the guest on Limerick's Late Night Live last night, along with Nicole Lafayette, one of the other guests, and immediately they try to hit Barzazi, but McNamara there to get the layout block. So Ireland get an early turn. And perhaps the Italians not quite ready for that pressure. So now we see Sinead Dunn walk to the disc and an immediate break to Brennan. Cork, Vancouver, and the score in the end zone collected by M.K. Anderson.
What a smooth, fast and efficient counter-attack by the Irish, just casually breaking as if it was nothing. They just picked up the disc, one breakside throw, the break cut just arrived on time, perfectly timed, and got the disc for the first break of Ireland. A bit of miscommunication or hesitation on the Italian side. That second thought that sometime might save your disc here made Italy lose it. Look at this two-pass break, brilliant by the Irish. What a control of the disc.
You see that was almost a set end zone play. Dunn getting the break to the front of Stacks. We're going to have another look here at the block. I think perhaps Barzazi's been getting the disc a little easier than that so far, but Jack McNamara, an absolute assassin on the defensive side, and someone who Ireland have applied to great effect against some of the most lethal cutters in European Ultimate. So right now, Ireland trusting their systems, and understandably so. As here they come for another D-line point. Can the Italians settle into this game? Espouse that Grinta philosophy. Still waiting to try and get that first pass off. Eventually they are able to. Ruscello. But again, they go for Barzazi, and again McNamara is in the way. 2 points, 2 blocks. And right now I think the Italians are a little underestimating his defensive capabilities. The swing across from Brennan to Dunn. Dunn goes for an inside scoop break, gets it to Costello. And then the reset back to Dunn right on the end zone line. No, she in fact is in. Kieran Costello sending that one into Sinead Dunn.
This is very weird to see. I mean, a lack of focus for sure on the O-line of Italy. They are maybe still waking up, I don't know. But we know Barzazi is one of the favorite targets, for sure. But it's weird to see them put him such soft discs, you know, and him as well not fighting for it more. Look at this. I mean, for sure, Jack McNamara is doing an amazing job covering that and being present where his body is needed to block the disc. But it's still surprising. Barzazi not fighting more for the disc, the throwers not being more, how would you say, aware of the defenders around.
And perhaps that early morning wake-up call coming a bit too late. So the Italians are going to try to rouse themselves with a timeout as Ireland storm into a 3-0 lead. gets the people going, and that's certainly what the Italians are hoping to achieve after that time out, as they go 3-0 down. And I have to agree with your assessment before the timeout, Charlotte, that it just seems like they were underthrowing Barzazzi and letting Jack McNamara, who doesn't need help when it comes to getting big-time blocks.
Right.
You don't need to make it easy for him.
So, no, I mean, he definitely puts on the pressure for defense. So if you make the tiniest mistake, he's going to use it for sure.
Well, Poltok and Verotto looking to work together against an Irish zone. Bobbles it, but holds on. That was almost a turn. And you see Ireland have a lot of different defensive looks. So they're coming out to try and put some pressure on, but Poltok has shown he is very versatile in his throwing range and abilities. That's a throw for Barzazzi. Launches it across to the opposite side. And caught.
I loved the look, though. I really liked that look to cross the field diagonal where no defender were positioned. However, no fencer as well. So this just a bit too far for Lafayette to get a chance. And Ireland is back with the disc. Another chance for a break.
So Lotte Inkenhaag picks it up. Aim to lead this D-line on a long march. This is the furthest they've had to go. They're not going to waste too much time down here, I imagine. Callahan, fresh off his under-24 campaign. Anya Gilheany stepping over onto the D-line. Down the line to Stephen Jones. Steege, as he is affectionately known. There's the quick pop in. Daly, front of the end zone. Ireland have worked the open side to great effect. Looking for a quick up-the-line finish to Gilheany, and the 4-0 lead.
Wow. What a throw. I love this, I would say, but I really love this outside, avoiding the defender. You have no chance to get a hand, and sheesh. Also, double score. Oh, we still need to get the backstories of the bucket from the GB women. I just remembered. I like having backstories for this celebration. I'm wondering why a basketball net basket, probably they just found one at Decathlon while going for their boots because of the sunny Limerick, where you have to walk in pools while trying to get to your pitch. However, great job by Ireland getting another break. This is 3 in a row, 4 points in a row, 4-0 for Ireland. That there's no better way to start such an important game.
And as we have another look at some of the Ds they've gotten, the first two blocks on passes to Barzazzi. Jack McNamara keeping his head up. And then the Italians look to be finding a bit of space. Poltok, very expansive thrower, and he would then send that all the way across the pitch to Barzazzi, who then tried to send it right back to Lafayette in the far corner, but overshooting her in the end. So Ireland have come out with a few different defensive looks and have gotten joy off all three of them.
Let's see more of this. Maybe also from the Italian side.
So here they come. Who's heading into the middle? Lafayette, Ruscello. Ruscello, Verotto. Tries to get it back to Fantini. Fantini, the nice swing across to Ruscello and a quick pop through. This is better by the Italians. More confident, more comfortable. Showing that grinta spirit that they're trying to espouse. And Poltok with Colombia on the far side, and he's so lethal disc in hand, showing that mixed experience that he's had after the focus season last year for Alligators, and that was smooth as you like by the Italians. Poltok to Ruscello for the score.
Now that is an Italian offense as we know it. That's what we were expecting. That's what we know Italians can do. These fast giving and going, never stopping the flow. Great work from Poltok, really running all over the field to get every second disc to finally get an assist for his team. Poltok for the assist, with Samuel Ruscello receiving that final pass. A first goal on the scoreboard for Italy, 4-1. Let's see now how they're gonna adapt their defense. We definitely want to stop also that Irish flow of theirs. Whether it is the O-line or D-line, Ireland showed us really good control of the situation.
And Ireland seemed a while ago now on the first point of the game. That was 4 or 5 points ago, when Ireland's O-line was on the pitch, but they did do it rather quick and easy. But a phenomenal start for them, a dream start in a lot of ways, as they go 4-1 up. Italy eventually able to get themselves on the board. You mentioned it was Poltok who was able to get that assist. He has been fantastic for them throughout this campaign. 11 assists and 2 goals coming into this matchup. And plenty more to offer, I'm sure. So there's the big pull down. And Ireland get started and ready to go. Quick move across. Gilheeney to Deavy in the middle of the pitch, looking for Brianna Healy. Didn't like that shot. Tesselaru had the nice defense. They like that shot instead. Taken on by Rory Keogh all the way to the far side, and Brianna Healy comfortably collects it for the hold. 5-1.
Again, what a control from the Ireland. I mean, they've been showing all the different tools they have. Hooking, giving and going, swinging, breaking, whatever. Now we have the deep shot and 2 receivers there in case, just in case. We had number 28 for the goal, Healy, but her teammate Mellon was also near, just in case. You never know. Everyone ready on the team to do whatever is needed.
What I really liked about that play was the way Ireland set up somebody to get the disc in the center, looking for a leading pass / 2/3 huck to the end zone. And initially it seemed like the first shot was going to be taken by Deavy to Healy, but looked off the flick side, didn't trust it, maybe felt it was a 70 and 80% shot, gets the reset instead to Keogh, and Keogh then thinks, nah, that's a 90%, I can get this backhand right the way across to the opposite end zone, and does so very effectively.
Exactly, that is the double thinking, but fast thinking. You know, it's that thing we say, like, don't play faster than you can. Like, you still need to think about what's going on, but at the same time, you gotta be fast enough before the defense shuts down all options.
Lafiata, as Ireland will be working very hard to try and shut her down too. They've got one of their younger players on her. Barzazi shoots for the end zone. He's looking for Colombi, or is it? I thought that was initially going to be a throw to Colombi, but Andrea Fantini came sprinting from behind to catch it.
That was super fast. Was it like 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Point. Oh my. I love that flow. Really nice little passes until you get to a poor position. Barzazi in the poor position to Fantini, completely alone. Look at this. They barely touch the disc and shoot it as soon as they can. Beautiful flow. That is what is needed to face the Irish team, strong team, who are still leading with their 3 breaks advantage at the beginning of the game.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you are enjoying yourselves on this Wednesday morning. We're certainly having a good time. I'm Lorcan Murray, and I'm joined by Charlotte Terrason. Charlotte, what would you like to see the Italians come out and do on defense to try and stymie what right now has been an immaculate Irish reception?
Well, exactly, that's the problem. It was immaculate. Like, oh, what do you do? Everything was perfect. Whatever you will try to shut down, whatever option you will decide to shut down, they will just use the other one. But, I mean, their handling flow is good. Maybe keep doing a zone, but adapt. Like, if they have this in their toolbox, another type of cup that might slow things down. Maybe a wall with a more person defense behind on the cutters and wally on the handlers, just to have this flat wall in front of them to prevent any little meter winning.
Well, it seems like they're certainly going with a flat mark on Rogers and trying to mark people out downfield. That's going to be difficult to do. Gilheany gets it in a power position. Gatti is quite an experienced defender herself. Devi shoots for Gilheany again. The throw, the go, the no-show from the defense, and Ireland comfortably collect another score.
Well, again, so fast, so easy, immaculate, as you described it. Well, the defensive problem here was just late. Being late.
So
Ireland
Gilheany basically faked Gatti away from the disc, and then as soon as Gatti had to take those 2 steps, Gilheany recognized, I got all the space in the world if I just pop this off to Devi and take off.
I want to say, like, Gilheany did amazing job on this point, and it was hard to follow her. She just goes before the time. She's early. She's going early, way earlier than the defender, who just couldn't keep up, because the time she recognized that the disc was thrown, Gilheany was already gone. She was already gone on another planet, gone to the end zone, and for this there's no secret in defending. You just gotta be faster reaction, faster reflexes, but also another option that could help, because here they used a lot of uplines, would be to do a force middle. Go force middle, so you avoid all these uplines that are very hard to defend.
You don't want to let the Irish players get into power positions, as so many of them can take that shot onto the end zone. I don't think people would have naturally assumed the likes of Rory Keogh or even Ty Devi would be taking those kind of shots. They'd expect them from people more like Rogers and Gilheany, but showing their versatility and their comfort playing with each other. So the Irish going out with a slightly different zone. Ruscello immediately collects the break throw from Poltak. It looks like it's a bit of a zone poaching, but with an assassination on Poltak. Colombi with the disc on the far sideline to Ruscello, even with the assassin, and that assassin's Jack McNamara, a deadly one. Capucci, the Italians are off to the races. Ruscello gets it back to Fantini. Fantini, Verotto can't get free, but he arcs a big one all the way across the pitch to Colombi. Colombi working both sidelines. Lafayette takes 2 bites at it, but secures it in the end. Lafayette back to Fantini. Fantini across and into the middle. Verotto. Fantini. Ruscello. Fantini, and you can see that Poltak has recognized he was being assassinated and has decided to just kind of take into the middle, allowing his handlers to work against the zone. Nice takedown from Capucci. Capucci back to Fantini, back to Capucci, back to Fantini. Quick passes back and forth, right in front of the end zone. Just keep unnerving that defense, Colombi. Fantini. And Colombi has been really effective at finding the sideline space. We're not holding onto the disc too long as a consequence. There's the quick movement. Ruscello, perhaps a bit too quick for his own good, Charlotte.
I was about to say, what a control, what a patience. They've had so many passes and still didn't still kept that patient, didn't throw any upside or whatever fancy, risky throw.
Talk about risky throws. You could see Kyo immediately went deep. McCarthy tried to feed him, but the blade was always going to fall short, and Rochelle was able to respond. Now Ireland trying to revert back into their zone. And seem to have pulled it off pretty effectively. Anderson running across to try and cover Fantini. Fantini back into Verotto. Verotto with a nice break across to Ruscello, and immediately Daly has to bail on that chase, giving Fantini room to get it into the up the line, but not wanting to force anything deep right now. We have Lafayette coming under for a potentially big gain, and done so very well. This is nice timing by the Italians, working well throughout their players, not relying too much on any one player, as they had been a little bit on Poltok. He's currently being man-marked by McNamara. And Poltok overthrows Fantini in the middle of the pitch. So I don't think any of us really expected that. Claire Gilheeney, the Irish under-24 women's team. She was a fantastic player for them throughout that week-long tournament. Pop into the middle, Anderson, McNamara. And McNamara now looking for a big deep shot all the way down to Stephen Jones.
What in the world? 7-2, another break. I just pictured the Italians scoring already 2 times there. They were so close. And that little pass, these small, unexpected mistakes, like, how come? Like, so much control on the pitch, 2 times crossing it, like, the full pitch, and then right in front of the end zone, that last, how, just, where's the focus? How come they can be so precise for meters and then just that little...
It's a peculiar one, and do you think it's an aspect of the pressure that the Irish defense put on, not just in a literal and immediate sense, but the fact that they keep changing the defensive structure, and it's kind of not letting the Italians settle in. Just when they look comfortable, it seems they stumble.
That might be it, like the transition near the end zone. Maybe they switch a bit or change the direction of the cup or make them struggle without them realizing that it's changing.
But it's a challenging one for this young Italian side, and bearing in mind that the Germans are now 4-3 up, so not to jump the gun too much, but if it does work out that way, that would see Germany top the group, Ireland come second, GB third, and Italy fourth.
I mean, let's see what happens. There was 3-1 for GB, so you never know.
Lots of back and forth in the pitch, and I'm sure the Italians will be hoping to fight their way back into this too. Poltok and Lafayette played together last year in the mixed division, also played against each other in the Italian mixed division. And that was a lot of pressure on Capucci. She was more than even to it. Gets the center to Barzazzi. Barzazzi marked by Bogan Carey. Those are 2 big men, and a miscommunication with Fantini, and he just sends it into the dirt. Right now, nothing is going right. Tyke Bogan Carey picks it up quickly, gets it to Robbie Brennan. Brennan looking to bake some bread. No, makes it nice and casual for now. Costello. Back to Brennan. Sees the move from Dunn in the middle of the pitch. Poltok does a good job of stopping the first look, but plenty of time given to the dump to reset. Now Callahan. Well, it goes for an arcing high ambition shot all the way across to Tyke Bogan Carey for the score and the half-time lead. 8-2. Did you see this coming? Because it looks like you didn't, Charlotte.
I absolutely didn't. I mean, I didn't see Ireland score already the halftime point. I mean, it's 8-2. I mean, it's actually, when you think about it a little bit more, no, it's not surprising. They've been doing amazing from the beginning, just clean offense and counter-attack, like breaks. But on the Italian side, this miscommunication, I mean, Barzazzi was already ready for the continuation before he even threw it and didn't realize his teammate was not there. That is a fifth break for Ireland, who's going to start on defense the second half, but I don't think that is changing much for them.
So you have another look at just how lethal this Irish offense is when it's in full confidence. Those discs will be in full flight. Ronan Callahan taking on the arcing blade, well, not really a blade, but outside in flick to the opposite side of the pitch, but a big target in Bogan Carey to collect. More than that, I think the fact that Tadhg Bogan Kerry ran to pick up the disc to get the offense flowing was one of the things that surprised me the most. It just shows the trust that Ireland have. They have their directives, they have their goals, and they trust everybody on their team to pull it off. And right now they are 8-2 up. They have had one turnover in that half, and it was by their D-line, which they then got back anyway. The 2 holds that Italy have had have both been flawless. They're going to have to try and find something in this second half to help them get back into it and espouse that Grinta spirit, because right now they are 8-2 down.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe. ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member
and
and fund our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world
And
and beyond.
Welcome back, everybody, to this Wednesday morning here in the University of Limerick and the EUC 2023, brought to you by ULTI.TV. I am Lorca Murray. I am joined by the wonderful Charlotte Tarasanas. We're going to have a quick look at those first half stats, and I think they speak for themselves, but I will invite Charlotte to add to that conversation.
I mean, when you look at scores and breaks, like everything fits. It's logic. 5 breaks on the Irish side for none on the Italian side, but I mean, none. It's not only this, they only scored 2 goals, which makes a huge gap. 8-2 on this first half for Ireland, who have been playing amazingly well. You see only 1 turn. They had 3 clean holds, and that is about the number of offense they had during this half. So all of their offensive line did clean holds, no turnover. As you said, Orkan, they only had 1 turnover over this first half, and that was one of their D-line. And the break chances, 6, and they got 5 out of those.
It's been clinical.
I mean, numbers speak themselves.
So how can the Italians look to fight their way back into this match? We know that they are a young side. We know that they want to try and put some front marks on the major Irish handlers to limit their ability to send it downfield. But it seems like Ireland have just been responding by saying, fine, we'll just get it to one of our players in the middle of the pitch and they'll send it downfield. So maybe adding front marks to everybody?
I don't even know at this point if just changing the tactics of defense will change much. I really think that now it is a mental thing, a focus that the players, the Italian players, should play more intelligent, smarter. They seem to be just trying physically to follow their players, to be like a present defense, but not a defense that is shutting down options. You know, it feels that they're not really into the defense. They're not present as well. Also, their O-line, whenever there's a turn, it looks, to me, it looks like they are still thinking about what happened previously, and they are not focused on what should I do to be efficient now on defense and shut down options, not just follow my player on the break side, on the open side, or whatever.
So will the Italians continue that run of form and effectively surrender their opportunity to go top of the group after an absolutely incredible performance yesterday to go 15-13 over the Germans? Remember, the Germans beat Ireland on Universe Point in our opening game of the tournament, but that game did carry through to this power pool. Germany currently locking horns with their old enemies, Great Britain, two teams that have long sat atop the ultimate scene in Europe. Well, Germany less so perhaps on the mixed scene division until recent years. As it falls down, we are focused on Italy versus Ireland. Poltak from Fantini and across to Lafayette. Gets it to Poltak and power, he shoots, looking for the end zone, and that man, Barzazzi, gets two Irish players. And then it's an incredible grab. There's going to be conversation about the shot to the back of the shoulder. I don't think it was intentional, but it was certainly influential.
So contact indeed, but I really like that layout from Barzazzi, who makes it look so casual. He barely caught it that he's already back up talking about what happened. Get this big shot and people running into each other. Oh, these are two Irish bumping into each other.
I think that's what happened there as well. I think they took each other out. McNamara running into Bogan Carey. Barzazzi just kind of running alongside and going, yeah, that's gone in. So you see Joshua Poltak arriving to give his perspective.
Discussion, translation, to communicate what happened, the point of view of each players.
As we're going to have another look at this ourselves, and I got to tell you, I think they did exactly what DJ Khaled warns us all not to do, and they may have slightly played themselves, as Barzazzi does nothing but play the disc in spectacular fashion. So they're going to keep talking about it.
To me, it really looks like Barzazzi was safe behind the action and that both Irish players bumped into each other while looking at the disc. Frustrating, but this happens.
And they have resolved it themselves in a remarkable show of spirit, talking it through, coming to the same conclusion that we did in the booth, but without the benefit of video replay. And they give the goal to Barzazzi.
Barzazzi, who really kept his calmness. I don't know if you can say that in English, but remain calm and just aim for the disc. Don't let that one fall. Whatever is happening, you're safe. Go for it. That is a score. 3 goals for Italy against the big 8 of Ireland. Nice to score on offense, but it will take much, much more if Italy want to have a chance to win that game and be in the top 2 of the pool at least. Top 2.
And Poltak did a move there that was quite akin to something the Irish did with great effect in the first half, which is when you catch it and you're known as a danger thrower, they have to bid on your fakes. So he's able to just pull his mark across and then set up the flick hook, which he does so well, and then sending it most of the way down the pitch to that front corner. Would have been a bit of a battle. As you can see, Ireland were very aware of the threat Barzazzi poses, and Bogan Carey pulled off to help.
I was actually surprised that Poltak shot that one, knowing that both Irish players were heading to the end zone to join Barzazzi to the party. That would have been a crazy air fight as well if there wasn't this contact occurring, but a really risky throw. Even if your receiver is Barzazzi, I mean...
You read my mind. I don't know how risky any throw can be if your receiver is Barzazzi, but I understand what you're saying as Rogers picks it up and the Italians come out in a zone. Corcoran as O'Shiel Fleming gets a little pop through. I thought he was going to throw the scuba initially. And Corcoran has just been fantastic himself. We haven't seen too much of him, obviously he's on the O-line, but in that opening point, it was him and Anya Gilhini who really tore apart the Italian zone. This one looks like a slightly different variation. They're trying to, I think, also copy the assassinate move, placing someone on Rogers, but Gilhini and Corcoran happy to work it between each other. Now we're down in front of the end zone. Back to O'Shiel Fleming. And there's the quick pop into Melvin for the scores. I get a nice rub on the back from Hoagie, who I almost took out. That looked rather professional.
That was, I mean, I don't have any more words. I'm repeating myself. That was clean. That was efficient offense. Always the same words because they keep doing the same. Being perfect. I mean, this is very, very good offense. Always using the holes. Whatever the zone is letting them do, they will do it. If they shut down something, Ireland will just use the other one. And again, what I was saying about the defense of Italy, that's exactly what we've seen here. It's more of awareness that they need, more of intelligence in the defense. You don't just follow the disc when you're in the cup. You look at who is free behind you, who is free downfield, and that is what you shot first. And then you come closer to the disc and continue marking the disc. But first, shut down the continuations, the flow, and I think that is missing to Italy. Maybe the experience you were talking earlier, but also the experience on the Irish side really knows how to use it properly.
I would like to see Italy come out with some match defense. I understand the wind's starting to raise slightly. You want to put zone on, you want to get a little bit of pressure, but you're going to have to find a way to get your spirit up and fight back into this game. And
Definitely.
My preferred way to do that is through match defense, because it just requires a lot more running.
Definitely, but it hasn't worked so far either.
Right now, nothing's really working for them, so what can we really say? Verotto, Gaglioni. The pop back to Poltak. So you see the Italians bringing out a couple of new players. Gaglioni making an appearance in the backfield for the first time. Verotto is pretty much a stalwart for them in that position. Colombi, great cutter. Another person who's really good at finding those spaces. Capucci, Gaglioni, back to Capucci. This is better by the Italians again. Some quick flowing play, and Colombi shoots for the end zone, trying to find Poltak, but only finds the dirt behind.
Unfortunate last pass. That was a really good flow again. That Italian flow, we love it, but that rushed pass at the end, the look was good again, but needs more floatiness, more outside angle.
So Claire Gilhini picking up the disc. A Gilhini on either side of the disc has got to be a intimidating prospect for opponents, as throws like that are commonplace. McNamara corks a big one. He's looking for Kyo all the way down. Rochello's trying to catch up and gets there.
Amazing air fight. I think that's one of the first ones we get. Real air fight. Rochello with the defense, retrieving the disc back for Italy.
So Gaglioni to Rochello. Rochello with the high release flick, and Gatti with the clamps. That was not an easy grab. A quick pops through, so the Italians moving quickly. Stephen Jones lays out and just slaps hands with a ghost. Verotto. Gaglioni. As Colombia in the middle again, forcing that zone to collapse. Such an effective cutter. Unflappable, some would say. And then Gaglioni trying to open it up to Rochello. TV. Oh! And it's 2-0 for Rochello versus Kyo right now. And then Kyo is able to just chase it down and steal it. They're trying to get the leading pass to Capucci, and Kyo just nips in and rips one himself. He's looking downfield. There's plenty of float. There's plenty of time for MK Anderson to chase it down. Resets it to Daly as McCarthy has McNamara. Poltak streaming through to try and get into position, but it's too little, too late. McCarthy to Anderson for the goal.
That was a Rochello point for the Italians, and for Ireland, again, I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. That is so clinical, beautiful, they have the flow and the precision. I think that is exactly what is missing to the Italians, that last pass in front of the end zone when you get a bit too excited. They have amazing flow, but just that last one rushed, just to rush, while the Irish did the same. And just look at this. MK just giving and going to the opposite side of the end zone after giving the disc so she can get the score. I mean, that is so beautiful. And Rochelle's defense and catch on that point.
That's gotta hurt. You're going up against Rory Keogh, who is an incredible receiver, and you beat him twice, and you still concede the point. Also, you gotta give a big shout out to Keogh. Like, as soon as Rochelle made that very impressive grab, Keogh was not in his feelings at all. He was right back in the game, chasing down, and he would get the crucial block because he never gave up, never lost sight of what his role was. And that's something this Irish side is phenomenal at. They know their roles.
Exactly, Lorcan. I totally agree with you, and that is what makes a big difference between both of these teams. Italians really need to focus on what they have to do. What is the whole point of their position on the defense?
So Fantini, first off, they need to get the offense rolling. Marked by Costello. Fantini, Lafayette makes the move. They shoot to the break side, and the elegant grabs we come to expect from the Italians, and a fantastic snatch in the other end. Is that Ferrero? Indeed, it is.
Ferrero. Nice score for Italians to change a bit. A girl-to-girl shot, skying, passing over the defense. Great flow. She saw her teammates and didn't wait a second after on this power position. Great jump by Ferrero. Closely defended by Kate Daly, but just couldn't make that one. Beautiful push. Close to the line, but just far enough so you don't need to tiptoe. Comfortably get a score for Italy. 10-4.
Would you describe that as comfortable?
I mean, when you're not tiptoeing on the sideline, you're sure you're inbound, you're more comfortable to have a proper, I don't know that word in English, but you can prepare your jump much more comfortably.
Don't worry, I don't know it in any of the other 5 languages you speak, so I think we're even. That's a sincere statement, by the way. Our lovely Charlotte is a polyglot.
But I cannot say the word élan in English.
Don't worry, I can't say the word Corcoran, and that's in Irish, so. So the Italians able to get a hold, thanks to some brilliant play by Lafayette and Maria Ferrero. But they still need to get a turn off this Irish O-line. Going with match defense to an extent. Nope, it is a zone indeed. A little bit of poaching in the open space, but not putting immediate pressure on the handlers, which I think is the mistake. Or is it the answer? Shows what I know. Anya Gilhini with a rare throwaway on the scooper, and here come the Italians with the opportunity to get a break. Santorini resets it back. Tries to get the throw over the top. Does. Puppy into the middle. Ragusa. Santorini gets it back to Ragusa. They're just playing it back and forth between them. This is a big moment for the Italians. Their first look at a break. Can they convert it? The cut down the line says no. Melvin there to try and get the block. Not there in time. Bayaki. Bayaki floats one over the top into the waiting hands of Ragusa. Ragusa sends it across. And they are not getting a lot of pressure until Rogers makes a huge layout bid. Nothing immediately available. Ireland forced to switch to try and cover for that as he catches up. Ragusa shoots it. It's right in front of the end zone. Going for the break throw and fantastically finished off. A great throw from Stefano Panariello.
Wait, Lorcan, was that the first turnover for the Irish O-line? The first one of the game, not of the half, the game. So it is also the first time, oh, so close. Sir Melvin was 1 inch, 1 millimeter away from the block. And I mean Rogers as well. They're really close. Obviously, I mean, I'm not surprised that the Irish O-line is also very good defenders, tight on their players. But look at this, a first break for Italy. It is the first time that we have a look at Italian D-line offense, how they can play offense.
And it was really good dump swinging, just fundamental movements. Nobody really getting rushed too much. I think having Labisco out there really helped like keep them calm and keep them moving that disc around from side to side.
That was lovely, but I'd say they still played with fire, because that was very close to some players. We've seen Melvin and Rogers getting so close to those discs. They trust their teammates and all, but you see how Irish would just throw their bodies to the disc. You never too safe. So I'd say they played with fire. It worked. They didn't get burned. They got a first break. Let's see for the rest.
Well, the Italians did go down at half to the Germans as well, although even with my limited mathematical ability, I can recognize the difference between 8-6 and 8-2 is rather significant. However, it was about the second half comeback for the Italians, and that's something they're going to have to pull off here in an even more impressive fashion, especially as this game plays an influential role in where your final seeding will fall heading into the brackets. Italians can still.
By the way, on the other pitch, while we're talking, Germany, GB, the game, GB is leading 7-6 again. So they're trading advantage.
It's all happening this morning here at the University of Limerick, EUC 2023. Corcoran doesn't want it to O'Shiel Fleming. Fakes the scooper over the top to Melvin. Winds up holding onto the disc for a long time. There's a bit of desperation to that, I suppose. Maybe not so much desperation. And there's the quick movement down. O'Shiel Fleming looks to shoot it across to Healy for the goal.
Easy peasy. They got turned over once, they got broken once, and they said, never again. That is not happening under our watch. And O-line just casually scored another one. Fast, clean offense, as they've been playing from the beginning of this game, with one exception, one turnover on this O-line that cost them a break.
It was I thought the Italians doing a good job of putting a lot of pressure on Corcoran specifically, and he was forced to go with like a high release. It came out fluttery. It had all the ingredients for a turnover, except for that final touch, which was Ty Deavy. And that's a secure person to throw at, just ripping it down.
I feel that there are a lot of people who are safe persons to aim at on this team.
That's a great point, yeah. A lot of fair options.
Fair.
So the Italian O-line back out there.
We are halfway through the time, and Ireland already with 11 points. That is a fast game. I mean, both teams have been scoring pretty fast, their offenses. Don't have many passes. I mean, the most passes we had was 12, not 14.
Well, now you can see that they're starting to load up a couple of passes pretty quickly. Capucci gets it back to Fantini. Fantini, Poltok, Varotto, Lafiata, we're all getting involved. And that final one, looking for Gatti, but the best friends can't connect.
She saw her teammate alone. That was the look, poach, but the disc must have slipped out of her hands and definitely didn't fly the way she wanted it. Yeah.
So now, Ireland coming back. Gilheany in a lot of trouble. Under pressure from Gatti. It bounces off the hands of McCarthy and she can't rescue it on the second bid. Fantini picks it up. They want to get back to business awfully quick, the Italians. Poltak into the center. Verotto surveying, waiting patiently. Able to get it to Ruscello. Ruscello pops it right back to Verotto for the hold.
Now this is a scenario we haven't had yet. O-line losing the disc from the O-line from Italy, losing the disc and retrieving it for the hold. It is the first time they managed to get it back and get their hold. So we see that they stepped up, or maybe Ireland is also getting more loose.
Complacency perhaps starting to seep into this Irish side. I feel like that's a difficult spot for Gilheany to be in. It's the hardest spot to be in, really, the front corner of your own end zone. Not too much wind, but still the Italians did a great job of clamping down on the pressure and an even better job of then finishing it off. They were lightning quick, just moving it between each other really quick. And once again, Verotto, such a stellar player for this Italian side. As we can see, a timeout called. The Italians have gotten a break back, but still chasing the Irish and trying to close that 5-point gap.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back, everybody. Ireland 11-6 up right now, but that blue jersey represents a lot of pride, a lot of passion, a lot of power. But can they charge up and come back at the Irish, who are here defending home turf? For some, that's more literal than others. Sarah Melvin, known around the world, but raised initially in the University of Limerick. He's going to be stepping out on this Irish line.
By the way, thank you all for following us and being active on the chat. Don't hesitate to let us know who you're rooting for. Try to give some energy to Italians to come back, to have a tighter game. We would love to have Universe comebacks. They are amazing. They are the best show.
So Ireland receiving the disc to start the second half, and this scooper much more accurate from Gilheany. Finds Healy. Receives the disc back from her and centers to Corcoran. Corcoran goes back to Gilheany, not looking to force anything. As you can see, once again, the Italians are placing an assassin of their own on Ferdia Rogers. It's Novelli this time. Devi comes under to collect that over the top scooper. With this little wind and this muscle audaciousness, the Irish will be going for those, but Corcoran may be rushing that a bit too much. Panariello is able to step through and steal the disc away. Galeoni. Lubisco just about takes that one away from Sarah Melvin. Back to Galeoni. He has the Ragusa in front of him, turns him down. Couldn't get to Lubisco initially. Melvin was there enough to dissuade it. Lubisco back to Ragusa. Ragusa centers it across. Ferrero had that big grab late in the first half. And a big grab by Ragusa, having the full extension stretch. No cuts he likes becoming available. And there's the bobble, but the collection at the second asking by Brini. Ragusa goes down the line for Brini. Ferrero also trying to get free. Eventually it's Ragusa. Lubisco makes a cut into the open space, but all it does is shut down options. Forced to go back to Ferrero. Ferrero resets to Ragusa. And into the middle. Benariello. Benariello tries to break. It's arcing, it's floating. And chasing it down for the catch and the break. There's going to be a discussion about whether that was up or down.
Let's have a look maybe on a replay. Oh my gosh, that was intense.
Whew.
Had to stop breathing for a second. There's going to have another look on the screen for the replay.
That is Novelli, Alice Novelli. So I think this part of it is up.
Oh!
I think that's control. Then she loses control here. Does it touch the grass?
That's the actual part that was interesting, is does it touch the grass once she loses control?
Well, there's a turnover in Ireland, wasting no time there. Right back to business and right back to the hands of Brini. So maybe they could have taken a little bit more time in that instance. And the Italian D-line get another look at a break, and Gaglione has to watch the disc fall to his feet. So some classic huck and D from this elite game right now. Rogers, Corcoran gets it back. The Ranelagh teammates, you might have recognized that play from the final point of the EUCF final last year. Those two so well versed at working with each other. Now Gilhini has the incredibly free Kyo to the point where I think they were both surprised he was that open, and she looked him off initially.
You sure you're free? Are you really open?
That doesn't make sense. No, there's an Italian somewhere around here.
That's an Italian trick.
Can't see it.
There's a snake in the grass.
As we have another look, Novelli. We can't see the other side, but I do think would have been worth going back, but very well-spirited teams. As Corcoran gets that to Gilhini, and there, look, just looks, and Kyo is just like, I am this free.
I guess I am. It must be.
I cut, therefore I'm free. The philosophy of Rory Decchio.
What a nice philosophy. So we're at 12-6. Ireland having a double score over Italy. Well, here score gap is pretty big. On the other pitch, we have Germany, GB, and GB still keeping that 1 goal advantage, 8-7, taking the half.
And that game has had 3 lead changes already, whereas this game has only seen lead extensions for the most part. Fantini, Lafiata, back to Fantini. Fantini, that would have been a very impressive break, especially under the auspices of Brennan. He's forced to loft one up, and Poltok with the bobble catch and launch downfield looking for Barzazzi, and that was pretty ugly catch. Beautiful throw.
The usual Poltok hucking it to Barzazzi. I mean, on this line, we've seen a lot of hucking to Barzazzi, whether it comes from Poltok, from Fantini, or Lafiata. All 3 of them really happy to always serve these hucks to the favorite receiver, Barzazzi. We've seen it a lot. What a way to get in power position. But we've seen it a lot during windmill. Always aiming at Barzazzi in the end zone for the deep shots.
Poltok's flicks are so impressive, and he is only 20 years old playing for the Alligators. He does have experience at Italy under 17 and under 20, playing EYUC, Wujek and Wook, the first 2 for his national team, the latter for his club. And crucial for this Italian team, he's got another under 24 cycle in him, so imagine how much better he can get. As we have a quick look at Conor Hogan, a stalwart of the Irish national squads throughout the years, was on the Irish mixed team that made the 2015 final. It's one of their key handlers. Unfortunately, was injured in the show game, but still very much a part of this team and helping lead from the sidelines. As you might be able to hear things in the notably tighter GB Germany game. So if you have the option, I'd say put both of those bad boys up. Because while this game isn't as close, it's just as exciting, that Irish offense. Such a pleasure to watch, like poetry in motion. They just indicate it is women matching. Oh, there's Brianna Healy. For a second, I could only see 6 Irish people on the line. I was thinking, are they waiting for someone to confirm? No, it was the Italians who were had the wrong order. Davide, quick to concede. So now, disc landing just around the brick mark. Anya Gilheeney to Corcoran. And they're quite the partnership in the handling space for Ireland. Doing a lot of the lifting for the O-line so far. Deavy gets it to Rogers. And this is a bit more of a traditional cup style zone by the Italians. One assumes with an attempted line trap. Gilheeney and Ireland collectively not afraid of going over the top of these kinds of zones, but right now choosing to go through and around. Healy on the near sideline for the big gainer. Beltieri tries to get in the way of O'Sheil Fleming, but she stays strong, gets the pass to Melvin and finish to Rogers for the score. It's what they do.
Yeah, it is what they do.
That shot across Gilheeney to O'Sheil Fleming, that one was, sorry, I think it was Gilheeney to Healy even.
Yeah.
Had the potential to be a little bit dicey, but it was actually perfect and it totally opened them up.
That's the thing, like, it's unusual throw. You won't see that often because maybe a bit windy or so, but it's just so controlled. Like, why wouldn't you do that when you can throw it that perfectly? Just keep it going easy with whatever tools you have. They use them all and it keeps working. I mean, 13-7.
13-7 over a team who just yesterday managed to beat the only team who've given Ireland a loss so far in this tournament. It really is a pool of death in this power pool with Italy, GB, Germany and Ireland all fighting it out. Right now it looks like Ireland are pretty guaranteed to win this. So if Ireland and Germany win, Germany finish top of the pool, Ireland finish second. However, if Ireland and GB win, Ireland finish top of the pool and GB finish second. That would actually push Germany down to fourth, underneath Italy.
And so far, GB is leading 10-7 over Germany.
Oh, that is a rough start to the second half for the Germans. It was 8-7, GB took half.
It was 8-7. And GB back with a disc. But this is another game. Here back with Italy.
And Poltak with the blade. He tries to get it around the defense, but instead he just sends it straight into Stephen Jones's hands. That's not the kind of music he wanted to make with that, Mr. Jones. And then a throw just a little bit low and bounce out of Daly. Ruscello reaching behind him. I'm always impressed when players are able to do that, running one direction and they just look backwards and get the grab. Gets to Fantini. He's in power position, but he turns down the deep shot to Poltak. Goes to the dump to Lafiata instead. Ruscello censors it across Verrato. Verrato back to Fantini. And Ireland managed to set up their zone again. It's settled in a little bit more on this Italian O-line. And Poltak working so hard to get free. McNamara's trying to stay close to him, but loses focus for a split second. And in that split second, the Italians strike. Fantini and Poltak working well together. It's back to Fantini. Verotto. Gatti. Fantini. So with Poltak being assassinated, Fantini has had to take on a much more prominent role against this zone, and he's doing so very, very well. That's a great shot down the line to Capucci. No, Capucci's right on the end zone. Gatti wants the first look, doesn't get it. Verotto also makes a cut. And nothing become available. That Stolken's got to be getting high, but the free dump was always there to Fantini. Fantini to Ruscello, tries to get it back quickly. Turns down the shots to Verotto and Gatti. I was a little surprised by that. It was Capucci and Gatti, sorry, but looking them off, and now Fantini looks for Verotto and gets the score.
When I saw Capucci in front of the end zone and La Fiata being poached, I really thought she was going for that upside or bladey sharp sidearm, just whatever to reach her teammate before the poach comes back. Unfortunately, we haven't had that upside. I'm a bit sad, but Italy did manage to score their hold, and it is a 13-8 score now. For a little bit, I thought Ireland had that one, and it would be already 14. But good job from the Italians. They managed to get that focus, this patience in front of the end zone. Oh my, like so many opportunities. They didn't take them because it was really, really tight one. They might have gotten burned there if they played too much with that fire, the Irish fire.
Instead, they say cool as an iced cappuccino. And they're able to just take their time and work it back in.
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Welcome back, everybody, and a quick update from the other game. The Germans refusing to go gently. They went 10-7 down to open the second half, but they have responded with a hold and break of their own. It's now 10-9, so they're still trailing, but fighting their way back into it. As you can see, the best perspective provided by Eurodisc. Top quality organic discs, originally from Germany, but now also being printed in Australia and the United States. They're going international, and they're the best disc for throwing in the wind. So right now, both these teams showing off their throwing prowess. An impressive hold for the Italians on their second attempt, at least. But good cycling through all of their players, this young side, never afraid to throw to anybody on the line, which can be a challenge for teams when they're first trying to develop their mixed approach. This Irish O-line, they've been broken once. I think they've been turned
So it
3
is
times.
possible.
If it bleeds,
That's the thing.
we can kill it.
If you could do it once, you can do it twice or 3 times.
Well, it remains to be seen if the Italians are capable of such a feat. Gilheany and Ireland already past halfway. Really quick play. It was basically just a rather aggressive swing from one side of the pitch to the other. O'Sheill Fleming back to Corcoran. And he takes the break on, gets it past Ferrero. Good recovery initially. McNamara, who's been putting in a shift on the D-line, coming over to help out on offense. There's a big scooper over the top. Gilheany, one of the most inventive and enjoyable throwers in the game today. Melvin was on the catch. She has it again. Back into Corcoran. Back to Gilheany. On far sideline, McNamara, they're just taking their time. They don't want to rush it. And why would they? Gilheany possibly thinks about another scooper, decides to go with the conservative dump back. Boo. And there's a bit of fun for you. Launched all the way across to Melvin. Corcoran with the assist.
What a look. Who left Melvin alone in the end zone? Who had that idea?
Who?
Like, how come? How could you do that when your goal is to score 6 breaks? Like, first thing, don't let Sarah Melvin alone in the end zone. I mean, you've seen all these throws, even upsides, like they can throw everything. So if wherever you let a player alone, they're gonna shoot it straight away. Great work. And I actually really enjoy watching Girheni with her upline cut. She does a lot of upline, very powerful explosiveness, and that is really nice to see. Great job. I mean, everyone on this Irish team is doing amazing on this game.
And just to go back to talking about Sarah Melvin briefly, you don't need to give her any help getting free, but I do think the Italians were trying to collapse in on that front corner, put a lot of pressure. But like you say, with the throws Ireland have, with the vision that they have and the trust that they share, you can't be poaching off. They're going to punish you.
They are able to throw everything. They trust each other to throw whatever is needed, and this is a pull way out of bounds, almost reaching the other pitch.
Ronan Callahan just having himself a little cry at that one. He's going to look to make up for it. Oh, Poltok, still a good enough pull to demand that they go for a break. Poltok looking, wants to lash it, gets to Barzazi. Into the middle to Ruscello. Ruscello down to Fantini. Fantini doesn't like his initial options, can't get it to Gatti. The Irish are on every shoulder right now. Capucci has to work incredibly hard just to get a little bit of space. There's a pick called. Anderson gets to catch up to Gatti. I believe she'd still get, oh no. I believe she would have been able to influence it enough, so the disc is going to go back instead. Capucci. Ruscello not free enough to satisfy Capucci. Now Poltok goes with the dump and takes off himself. The high pass, Fantini able to knock it into his own hands, fortunately. Goes for an arcing backhand across. Lafayette jumps too soon. And Dunn picks it up quickly to get it going the other way. Brennan to Costello. Costello. Poltok steps way off him, so he can get the free dump back to Callahan. Brennan makes the cut to the break side, but I think there was a bit of miscommunication between Brennan and Bogan Carey about who that was for. Barzazi now working very quickly with Ruscello. Has Capucci and Lafayette in front of him, finds Lafayette, she goes to set up Capucci, and the goal! Technically a hold, but a hard-fought one.
For a second, I really thought that Ireland was gonna finish this game with that turnover, but apparently they're not so eager to finish as quickly as possible. I mean, that was a weird focus mistake, throwing it into the defense. But we're happy for that, because that gives us more show, more game. So as long as we get a show, do whatever you want, folks, on the pitch. I'm happy to commentate that.
You've got to show off for the people in the stands and all the people at home. And people at home, please let us know how you're feeling watching this game. Do you think this is indicative of the depth of this Irish side and their potential to make it all the way through to the final and take home that big gold one? Or do you believe that maybe the champions are currently battling it out on our other pitch as GB and Germany lock horns?
Just on the chat, we got a question about how tall is Capucci. I think we can just ask you to bet on it and throw your number.
5 feet of fury, perhaps, if even. But such a great cutter. Fantastic movement and footwork.
She's got fast feet, definitely moving everywhere non-stop, releasing the disc and going a sap. Really hard to follow.
Now Ireland looking to finish this game. It's an awfully strong O-line. Female match. I keep getting confused by whether they're male matching or female matching, because Brianna Healy likes to just hide out in the far corner. But keep an eye out for that over the course of this point as well. As the Italians coming out in match defense, and Ireland immediately shooting deep. Looking for Melvin, finding her for the score. One throw, and it's over.
What a finisher. Again, we said previously, don't let Sarah Melvin alone. And even if you don't let her alone, she will get free anyway. What a finisher. Perfect hug as they had perfect throws all along this game. Just a beautiful way to show that they can do it all.
And they can do it well. Is the time now for this Irish outfit? Obviously, they even took half in really commanding fashion against the Germans in the opening game of the tournament. They've suffered some setbacks, as all teams do on these campaigns. Nothing but love for Conor Hogan and Sam Murphy, who are both unavailable through injury. And ever since they kind of let the Germans back, I think they took half 8-4, but the Germans were still able to fight their way back in the second half and get the universe point win. People started to doubt them, thinking, oh, maybe this was just a lot of hot air, maybe Ireland don't have it to put together. But they have been incredible since then. A little bit of a scare against Latvia yesterday, but certainly championship caliber throughout. And speaking of championship caliber, we are joined by the wonderful and very entertaining Anya Gilheany. Anya, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, after watching that, that's a nice little bit of breakfast for myself and the fans back home. So I just wanted to ask about the offensive structure you guys approach. It seems like you can rely on almost everybody to take on big throws.
Yeah, it's like a nice setup that everyone has their own strength. So then if one person's strength is better in a certain game, we can use that person, and then someone else is able to take like more of a secondary role and then step up depending on what the defense is. So it's very fun that way.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. It seemed like yourself and Shane were doing very well against the zone, and perhaps the more famous name, Rogers, just kind of steps off. So is that adaptability what you think is going to stand to you moving forward in the tournament?
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice that we trust each other enough to lean on other people when our role is maybe secondary, or like we're being marked out of a game, or if the defender is better on that person, that we can trust anyone on the line to take up whatever we need from them.
Fair. And how do you build that trust? Ireland coming together for this mixed campaign with a lot of experience in both open and women's divisions, but how have you managed to build the trust and work together for this success?
I think the reps throughout like our warm-up tournaments, and then even at this tournament as well, has been amazing. We have a lot of discussions like off the pitch and on the pitch, and then I suppose we've had a lot of film and tape that we're able to look at, so being able to kind of have objective discussions as well as like how we're feeling in the moment is really important.
Yeah, you hear that from Anya Gilheany, one of the best offensive players going right now. Tape, very important. Thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to watch you as you continue throughout this campaign. Go on, Ireland. Oh, it's, you know, a lot of drugs. Oh, I'm still on mic. Don't do drugs, kids. Become a rock star. They'll give you them for free. Love Actually, fantastic Christmas movie. And what a fantastic game, Charlotte.
That was crazy. Really nice to see such beautiful ultimate, especially from the Irish side. They were clinical, 15-9. They had 6 breaks, and I mean 11 breaks chance. More than the half of them were converted in 2 breaks. That is really good, and 8 clean holds. That is all of their holds. They were all clean. No, there was 1 break. So my math is really bad indeed. It would be 14. So they did have almost all clean holds, only 1 missing and 6 breaks. I mean,
Consummate is the word that comes to mind. I said immaculate, although I suppose they did give up that 1 break, so that one falls a little bit short. But in the end, Ireland flying absolutely high, standing tall over the passionate Italians, 15-9. Very impressive. So Ireland will finish top of the group, provided that GB win, and GB are currently 11-10 up on our other stream. However, if Germany win, Ireland will finish second, because as we said, they lost that universe point game. So still plenty of action happening on our other field. I implore you to hop over there, while on this field we'll be taking a quick break, but at 11 o'clock we will be right back with some top quality action. You might be able to see the Belgians already warming up. Unfortunately, my internet connection is rather cold. So keep it here with ULTI.TV on behalf of...
we'll have Italy playing again against Belgium in front of us on this pitch. So don't forget to stay tuned and watch all the coverage of this EUC 2023 all week long.
So for myself, Lorcan Murray, for the wonderful Charlotte Tarason, and for our entire ULTI.TV crew in the back, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you at 11.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup. Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.